Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. We in this video are going to solve class 9 unit test 3 science paper. So you all know that science paper has been taken by GSEB. It was of 25 marks. 4 sections were there and let us go for section wise solution. So section A where 1 marks question, in that 4 questions were there. So was the first question is name the scientist who first coined the term protoplasm. So bio question, the first scientist who coined the term protoplasm was Purkinje. He coined this term in 1839. Second question is which physical identity has the unit meter second square inverse? This is meter second square inverse, or if you take second downside it will be meter per second square, and that is the unit of acceleration. The third question is state if the following statement is true or false, and if it is false kindly rectify the statement, means correct the statement. The statement in question 3 is particles of suspension cannot be seen with a naked eye. The following statement is false because the particles of suspension can be seen with naked eye. So this is the correct statement. So going on to question number 4. Question 4 is which of the following factors are not responsible that make a soil? So we all know that weathering of rocks is helped by sun, water and wind, but the incorrect answer, that means polythene bag is not responsible to make a soil. Clear? So this was section A. Now moving to section B, each question are of 2 marks. There are 4 questions, question 5, 6, 7 and 8. So overall 8 marks is there. So what is question number 5? Which of the following substances will show Tyndall effect? So A, B, C and D, we have 4 options, right? And first, salt solution will not show Tyndall effect. Milk will show Tyndall effect. Copper sulfate solution will not show the Tyndall effect. Starch solution is still unclear whether it is showing Tyndall effect or not, because it is the example which is not in our textbook. So we will consider that it will not show Tyndall effect. So our answer will be that B, milk will show Tyndall effect. This answer is based on what information is given in our NCERT textbook. Now, question 6. Which of the following organelles perform the following functions? So, first is what is the powerhouse of the cell? Mitochondria. What forms the channel transportation from nucleus to cytoplasm? So, the answer is the pores, the holes in the nuclear membrane. That is why membrane is called selectively permeable. That means the holes or pores, they allow the substances to go or move from nucleus to cytoplasm in and out. Third is lysosomes are the sac which contain digestive enzymes. We have studied in cell organelles part. Kitchen of the cell. This question was very interesting. Kitchen means the place where food is prepared. And we all know that food is prepared by the autotrophs in their chloroplast, right? So plastids are known as kitchen of the cell because chloroplasts contain chlorophyll which help in photosynthesis, that is making the food. So plastid will be the answer. Question 7. Differentiate between speed and velocity. Speed is a scalar quantity while velocity is a vector quantity. Speed is always positive while displacement can be 0, positive or negative. There are many points of difference, but as this question is of 2 marks, we will consider 2 points for each. Question number 8 is which of the following methods are practically used to stop or control of soil erosion? Now in this question they have asked which of the following, that means they must give the options. But here options is not there, so we will write our own method. So to stop or control the soil erosion, we have to stop deforestation, overgrazing, doing afforestation will also help. Making strong embankments along the rivers will help the soil to stop going inside the river water. Also, in farms and field, we can have tree or vegetation cover in the perimeters, right? In the borders. So that will help the soil to not erode and go away. So this was all about section B. Now let us move on to section C. In section C, there are 3 questions, each of 3 marks, so total 9. In that, the first is of physics. Using the concept of distance versus time graph, derive the relation v equals to u plus at. So this is the first equation of the derivations of equations of motion. Let us see what the graph shows. The graph is showing that the object is moving from P to N. At P, the velocity was u, initial velocity, and final velocity was v, right? So you see Pn is the graph of the motion of this object, right? And below we have time, over here we have velocity. So now let us see how we will derive or generate this equation. As shown in the figure, object is moving with initial velocity u, changes its velocity to final v in time t. So this statement is necessary to write. Also we will write from the figure that acceleration will be the slope of this line. This Pn, if you want to find out the slope, you have to just divide Nq by Pq. So what is the slope? Slope equals to Nq upon Pq, that is acceleration. Remember, Nq is nothing but the change in velocity and Pq is nothing but the change in time. So what is acceleration? It will be the slope. Now Nq from figure is v minus u, as you can see over here, and Pq, again it is shown that it is time t. So what is finally acceleration? A equals to v minus u by t. Just take this t on this side, it will become at equals to v minus u. If you take u on this side with at and v will remain in one side, so we can have our final equation v equals to u plus at. So this was the short derivation of v equals to u plus at. Clear? Moving on to the next question, that is question number 10. In this, we have to draw a neat and label diagram of animal cell. So this question doesn't require any kind of writing work. You just have to draw this figure, which is also given in our textbook. Note that a simple diagram showing all the essential parts of the cell will be given full marks, right? Now the next is section C, question number 11. What do you understand by water pollution? Now this topic is very nicely explained in our NCERT in textbook, as you can see. Now water pollution definition is not given in NCERT, so you have to make your own definition. As we have seen air pollution definition, same will be the water pollution definition accordingly. What is water pollution? It is the contamination of water bodies with harmful chemicals and substances degrading its quality. So this is called water pollution. It is usually due to increased human activities. Now these modern day human activities includes uses of fertilizers and pesticides in agriculture. We are using it in huge amounts. Using or releasing of toxic waste from industries and factories, also sewage, that is domestic as well as industrial. So these increased human activities have spoiled the quality of water. Now this point is very important. You have to understand this, that water is also polluted thermally. Heat is also a very important factor. When we discharge the cooling water from the power plant, that also changes the temperature, and if we release water from dam reservoirs, the cold water may disturb the temperature of water bodies. Now these all changes, what it happens, it degrades the level of balance between the aquatic animals and the habitat. So that is why it affects very badly. Water containing fertilizer and pesticide can mix with water bodies, which may be poisonous, toxic, as well as it can cause problems like resulting into excess microbial growth. So disease causing organisms can also grow. For example, cholera causing bacteria can also grow in dirty water. Any activity which results into change in the oxygen percentage, dissolved oxygen amount, that would also adversely affect the aquatic organism, because this may cause death in huge number, and also it will deplete the other nutrients which are present in the water. And last point, sudden changes in temperature can affect the breeding process of aquatic animals, as eggs and their young ones, the newly produced young ones, larvae, are susceptible to temperature changes. They can die, or it can be very hard to survive in different temperatures. So this was all about water pollution. Minimum 6 to 9 points you can write, as it is a question of 3 marks. Moving on to the next question. We have section D, in which there are two questions that are related to chemistry. First is, how can we separate a mixture of two immiscible liquids? So we have to explain about that stopcock separating funnel method. The next part is, describe with a neat diagram the method of sublimation as well. So 4 marks question is divided into two questions. So 2 marks each will be the process. Now see, separating funnel method, what we will do, we will separate kerosene oil from water using a separating funnel. Here yellow color liquid, let us assume kerosene, and blue is water. So in this separating funnel, which is having a stopcock valve which can be on and off, right? And in this separating funnel, both the liquids are filled. As they are immiscible, the separating layers can be seen. Now what we have to do, you see, pour the mixture of kerosene oil and water in a separating funnel. Let it stand undisturbed for some time so that the separate layers can form. You can see this separation of layers. Okay. Open the stopcock of the separating funnel and pour out the lower layer of water. You see, this stopcock will be open, and in one container we will take out all the water, but carefully, means drop by drop. Now, when water is removed in one container, the only thing left will be kerosene oil. You may take out the kerosene oil in other separate container as well. Right. So here, based on the difference in densities of two immiscible liquid, we can easily separate them. So this was all related to the separation of two immiscible liquids. Now let us go for the other part. The other part is, describe with a neat diagram the method of sublimation. So you see, this figure is also given in the textbook. Here we will take mixture in which there is a sublimate, that is ammonium chloride, and also salt or sand might be the other mixtures. So let us see how we can do this process of separation. Take a tripod stand, place a wire gauge which will act as a stand. Take a china dish and put all the mixture. We will have to heat, so place a glass funnel in an inverted position on the mixture and plug the whole of the funnel with cotton. You can see over here we have put the inverted funnel and blocked the outer way with a cotton plug. Now we have to heat the mixture, so we will use Bunsen burner for a few minutes until we see the white fumes released from the mixture. Now, what are those white fumes? Those white fumes are the fumes of ammonium chloride, which will go upside but cannot be separated as the outer pathway is plugged with cotton. So they will remain here only, and over here, if we put out the burner, they will be cooled and they will stick to the inner surface of the funnel, right? And we have to remove the funnel. Then we have to collect very carefully the deposited part of ammonium chloride, and if still there are some ammonium chloride amount, we will have to repeat the procedure. So if all the white fumes are collected, those white fumes will be sticking in the surface of funnel, and we will slowly remove all those. So finally in the china dish, what will be left out? Salt and sand, and in the other container we can have the ammonium chloride mixture. Right. So this is separation by the method of sublimation. So you have to draw the figure because it is written, describe with a neat diagram. So drawing the diagram, naming everything along with the method will give you full marks. So that was all related to this solution of class 9 science GSEB unit test 3, which was taken in September 2020.